Hey guys, Marnie asked me about the scaling between some of the tanks I have for scale modeling and a Space Marine. So let's just take a look, because it's a little odd. You know how GW is. This is the Aliens Armored Personnel Carrier, 1/35th scale. It's from, Aliens. And Marius is asking me, hey, what's the scale on that versus the Space Marine? Well, let's take a look. This is the whole of the APC. And if we were to stick on the wheel so you can see it better, it's not going to hook up in there. It'll look something like that. And here we'll go ahead and grab a Space Marine. And that would be the scale. That would actually kind of fit. I mean, if you think about it, it would look pretty cool, right? And it would look like a really cool modified personal rhino, I guess you could say. So that might work, Marius. The problem is this model here is out of print. And if you could find it, it's going to be expensive, like $70 I've seen on eBay. This is, I believe, a 1/35th scale Sherman. I think it's a Sherman. I don't remember. I did this like when I was 17, 18. Okay. Go ahead and put a Space Marine right there. 1/35th might be a little big. It might look a little big because this whole thing, even the base could fit inside the hatch. Okay, let's put them on there. So yeah, it might be a little big. So if we go down the next popular scale for tanks, this is the 1/48th scale Cromwell Mark IV tank. And as you can see here, this is actually almost close, but now it's a little too small. Okay, if you look on the hatch down up here, see the size of the hatch there, and you see the size of the Space Marine? It is just a little smidgen smaller. So if they made, like, say, 1/50th scale, maybe 1/52nd scale, then we actually might be good with Space Marines fitting into the vehicles. Now here's another good example of a 1/48th scale model. Now don't laugh, guys, I did this when I was 16, 17. This is an Apache, 1/48th scale. Okay, and within the Apache, whoa! Don't kill my Space Marines. Within the Apache, you will see Space Marines in them. Go ahead and take off the propeller here. Okay, as you can tell, it's a little smaller, but it actually kind of works. Just a tad smaller there, the model itself over the Space Marine. So if it was a couple of scales bigger, might be able to do it. But if you ever wanted to see Space Marines in an Apache helicopter, well, there you go. Now, some of you might ask why Marius is asking about scale, because I've actually checked it out too. It's because scale modeling models are actually cheaper than GW stuff. And you could do a lot of conversion to actually make it work and put it on the table as, like, say, a Land Raider or something. Case in point. Okay, we've seen a Land Raider Crusader, what you see here. Now, take a look at this picture. A little familiar, isn't it? You could take the British Mark I tank back when they used it in World War I, and what it is a Land Raider Crusader. It's just this way. Right, the front would be this way. Okay, and then if you could do some scratch building and modification, if you're all into that, and scratch build work, it'd be a fun project to do. Now, this is GW. Doesn't make any sense for the Land Raider Crusader to be facing this way. The whole point of having the angle up here is to be able to get through the ditches and stuff. This way, when the tank is going down the ditch, it's only going to get stuck. So, welcome to GW's logic, half-ass backwards. If you're into conversions and stuff, you grab these scale model kits here. And these are very cheap. Like, if you go and look at the Hobby Hoss lines, there's always deals for the Hobby Hoss lines, and they do some decent kits, on the cheaper line, and this thing was only like $10. Okay, it's 1/48th scale, and it does have some decent details to them. So if you're into kit bashing and stuff, you can actually make some really cool 40K tanks out of these. It comes with, lots more parts and stuff like that, and hey, you might actually get into scale modeling. That would be an actual fun project to take a Mark I or 2 or 3 or 4 to turn it into a Land Raider. It's going to take a little converting because you're going to have to switch it around and make it face a different direction. But it'd be really cool. Maybe someone of you guys want to try it, or Marius, you might want to try it. You're good at that stuff. What you want to get is the British Mark 1, 2, 3, or 4. 5 I wouldn't use because the hole is really narrow, so it makes it more slim. So that wouldn't work as a Land Raider, I don't think. 1/35 scale. I don't know, I have to do the research to see how much it costs and which manufacturer makes it, but if you guys want to do research, you guys could too. Maybe some of you scale modelers out there know of a kit right now that's pretty cheap. I know Hobby Hoss makes pretty good cheap kits, and Academy makes pretty good cheap kits, but Academy I think mostly has planes. I know Emhart makes the Mark IV kit. The problem is that kit is $35 and around that range there. So, you know, there's a lot of options in the scale model world. I just have to take a look at it. You know, all this time I've been talking about Space Marines. Now, you guys know I'm trying to figure out if I want to do Orcs or Nids next for my army. But for Orcs, oh my god, do a search on scale models, half tracks, or scale model military vehicles, and you'll find a lot of stuff you could actually convert for Orcs too. So there's a lot of possibilities there, and a good cheap alternative. And of course, as long as you're not going to use it for competitions, because I'm sure they're going to, like, you know, freak out. So that's it, Marius. I hope I answered your questions. And for the rest of you, don't dismiss the scale modeling side of stuff. Like Les have said, like I've said many times, there's a lot of techniques from the scale modeling side that can be carried over and help you be even better at doing wargaming stuff. Comment, suggestions, post them down there. Like if you like, favorite if you love me.